Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping on our monthly grit call. Tonight, Tova and I have a lot that we wanted to dive into and some questions that we want to ask. Be ready to get into that chat and start giving your feedback because I love hearing from each and every one of you. Tonight, we're going to be diving in on long-term mindset, but breaking that down into belief, but also breaking that down a little more into 5 different levels of what belief actually looks like in this business. So we're going to touch on 5 solid tips on getting that belief up and where it needs to be to have a longevity mindset. So jumping in, number 1, I had to start off with opinions are not facts. So when I want everybody to go into the chat in just 1 second, I want you to go back and think of when you first joined this business. Think of the feeling when you hit brand ambassador that you were going to work for Plexus. What were the emotions that consumed your body? Hands down, I can tell you mine right off the bat was on top of the world. And that's why we're leaders, Tova, because Tova says nervous. What else do we have? Excited. Let me see, ladies. What do we have? I don't know if I can. Why? A bit unsure. That's a very reasonable answer. Curious. Glass half empty. I hear this. Like, I hear all of this. But I want you to look at this as a child walking down the street with a wagon. You're so excited. You got this bright, shiny red wagon. Everything's going great. Everybody's looking at you. And then somebody comes over and knocks your wagon over. What are you going to do? Are you going to back off, leave your wagon there, brand new wagon, just hanging out in the street, walk away? Or are you going to flip that bad boy back over and take it with you? And that's what people's opinions can do to some of us. It can knock us right off our stool. It can knock us right out of our game. And that's where we have to separate facts versus opinions. And Christina says this the best, and bear with me, ladies. I love all of you, but hear me out. She says, opinions are like butts. Everybody has one, and they probably stink. Every single time. Everybody has that opinion, and it probably stinks. And it's so true, because everybody at some point is going to say something. And it's going to be up to you to be like, I'm going to place my boundaries and knock that off and not listen and drive forward. So I have a ton of notes to why I want to jump into this tonight. But I want you to really think about this. What if somebody told you they didn't like your outfit that you were wearing? Would you go upstairs and change and never wear it again? Or would you own it? Think about that for a second. You would probably just own it. I would hate to see you go upstairs, change that outfit, and never wear it again, and that's just a waste. Okay? You need to own that outfit. Own it, stand up for yourself. You picked it out. You thought it was nice. That is your opinion. That is your facts. That is inside your brain. You have to stand up for yourself. If nobody else does, you have to. It's the same for your business. If somebody says this business isn't for you, all of a sudden we start to let this self-doubt creep in, right? That's just an opinion. Don't let that self-doubt ever creep in. You started this business for a reason, because somebody thought you had what it took to be in this business, and you're already doing it. Who is somebody else? Anybody else? I don't care who it is. It could be your own parent that comes in and says something off the wall. It's just an opinion. Don't let anybody creep up into your life and block or cramp your style. It only will, and it's proven that it will affect your business if you allow it to. They can say whatever they want to you, but it's going to be up to you to pick up that wagon and keep moving along. Don't let them take over you or your self-doubt. You can handpick the ripest, juiciest peach off the tree, and there will still be somebody out there that doesn't like a peach. So it doesn't matter how perfect you make it, what business you work on, what clothing you wear, there's always going to be somebody out there that is looking to knock over your wagon. Don't let them. Okay. Somebody here believed enough in you, and that's why you keep showing up. So in the end, their opinion is none of your business. They can say whatever you want. Stay in your lane and stay focused. So we're going to go into our number 2, and Tova is going to take over.
Okay, I just want to tack on a few things. And guys, listen, sorry if there's noise in the background. So when people say hurtful things or things that we interpret as hurtful, a lot of times they're not even really thinking about it nearly as much as we are. It's honestly a reflection on them. It can be a misunderstanding, but I've learned over the years, it's usually a reflection on some discomfort in them about a goal that they didn't chase and didn't stick with. And it just creates an uneasiness. And instead of really owning that, it's way more fun and easy to criticize other people. And also, guys, I'm kind of referencing a little 2 things here with time. This takes time, and that's normal. I would really have a serious talk with yourself about what do you think success looks like and in what time frame. Think about all the things we learn in school, think about all the things you learn in college, think about if you were going to become a really good golfer. Like that doesn't happen in 6 months. Now, hey, if you wanted to golf for 7 hours a day, 6 days a week, you would probably become a really good golfer really quickly. And if you only golf twice a week, it's going to take longer. So just keep those things in mind when you start feeling any negative feelings about your business. Try to come up with another example in your life over something you've gone through, something that's been fun but been challenging. Parenting is a great example, guys. As soon as we think we have it figured out, you don't. There's fun parts of it. There's not so fun parts of it. And we're not looking to make friends with everybody. We're not looking to have everyone agree with us. We're not, okay? We're looking for our people. All right. That doesn't mean we have to be rude or nasty to everybody, but I want you to know, like, expect people to not understand what you're doing. Expect people to criticize what you're doing. That probably means you're on the right path, that you're getting narrowed in and honed in on your people. So expect that. Be excited when you have that. That means you're more likely to attract. Because guys, if you aren't causing any waves, then you really don't have a lot of passion. If no one's criticizing you and no one's disagreeing with you, you're also not going to be magnetic to your people. So try to think of it that way. One kind of little exercise I wanted you to do with respect to awareness is and how it relates to belief. I was listening to a podcast the other day. Shocker, I know. I want you to write down 3 beliefs that you have about you and your business. So it's going to be like 3 columns for those of you who like a overall picture. So the first column is going to be 3 things I believe about my business. For example, I can't keep customers long term. I am not equipped to be a good leader. Things like that. Thoughts, irrelevant if they're true or not, if they're whatever, just what's in your head. You guys know what's running through your head. So be honest and write those down. And then in the middle column, I want you to write the flip side to it. So if you could magically wish to replace that thought, if someone was like, literally, I can do this like magic thing and take that thought out of your head and replace it with another one, what's the polar opposite? So something like, I'm so talented at retaining customers, the right customers long term. I, have learned so much about leadership. I'm a really strong leader. Whatever, it doesn't have to be true currently. It's just thinking of the opposite. So it's recognizing where you're at and then writing down where you would like that thought to be. So point A and point B. And then I'll get into a little bit after Sabrina talks about fear, about what we're going to do to kind of bridge that. These thoughts aren't replaced immediately. But I can promise you, if you don't acknowledge the thoughts you're having and write them down and reflect on them, you won't fix them. There's nothing wrong with the thoughts. We all have all sorts of thoughts. That's fine. It's like other people's opinions. They're just things that happen, but what we do with them will be the difference between the people that succeed and the people that don't, and they get frustrated enough eventually that they quit. And it's 99% of the time because they didn't want to do the mindset work, because it can be uncomfortable. But really, honestly, Sabrina and I have been through enough training and read enough books where we've found some ways to do it that really aren't that painful. You got to take the time to do it. And so we try to work that into some of this stuff for you guys. We can't, it would take hours and hours to do it all together. So we try to give you some things to take away, a little homework to kind of work on. But based on what you're thinking is most likely rooted in some fears that Sabrina is going to hit on.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, those thoughts that come through your head, those are subconscious thoughts, and those are things that run rampant, especially when you're in a groggy state. So changing those thoughts before you fall asleep and before, like right after you wake up, are the best ways to start training your brain and flipping that negative thought. So we can go into that at another time. But number 3 that I wanted to talk about tonight was fear cannot stop you. Fear is not a disease. It's something you do have control over. So how many of you have let fear stop you in your tracks? Let's just do like a raise of a hand, I guess. I have let fear stop me. It's very common, y'all. Fear is a God-given gift to have, and it just makes us thankful for what we do have. So believing in yourself, this is key. It's going to take bravery. You have to be brave and tell yourself, no, we're not going there. We're not allowing that. I'm going to push past this. And it does take a lot of building habits. It takes emotional maturity. It's going to take practice. It's going to be something that is not a habit until you form it. You have to be able to break past that fear, because it will paralyze you and stop you in your tracks. Fear will always hold you back, hands down. There's no, oh, maybe I can push ahead. No, fear will hold you back on any aspect. If it's coming out of your comfort zone, if it's leading, if it's showing up for a live, if it's growing in your business, any form of fear is going to hold you back. Now, am I saying that you're going to have to get rid of all of your fears, become completely confident? No. Again, it is a God-given gift. It's about pushing past and not letting it paralyze you where you are. But how do you stop the fears? So I'm sure that's probably on your mind, because I know when I was having a lot of my fears, I'm like, but I can't get this to stop. What do I do? I read about it. I listened about it. And the best thing that I came up with, I have heard, is starve your fears. And the only way you can starve your fears is by building your belief. So I will be better at this instead of I am not good at this. So you have to switch that mindset. It's a shift, but as soon as you, exactly what Tova just said, what we just wrote down, it's a shift. And it's going to change exactly how you are feeling and get that fear out of there. So I want you to start thinking, I want you to start thinking of things like this. So I can never be a diamond in this company. That is a fear. And sometimes that's what we have thought. You know, there's other things that we have thought in this business, but something on the flip side, many people have half of the grit I have. I am going to make it, they have made it a diamond, and I can too. It's making that mindset shift. So if they can do it, I can too. It's taking that fear and making it a belief. So it's all about just changing that. So let's talk about belief for a minute. You get in the car every single day. You put on a seatbelt. You believe you're going to get somewhere safely. You don't have a fear of not getting there. It's not paralyzing you or keeping you in your house, but you still get in the car, even though there's a risk. There is a risk out there, but you put on that seatbelt and you go. That is belief over fear. And that's what we want to retrain you in this business. Okay, there's going to be fears, but I believe I'm going to push forward. I believe I am the best at this job and this is for me and I'm going to keep pushing forward. Belief over fear is how you're going to get past that fear mindset. So fears will only stop you from moving forward. So face them and always write them down. I'm so happy that we just wrote some of those down, but I want you to write down your fears. Nobody has to read it. You don't have to post it anywhere. Write it down on a piece of paper, get it off and face your fears. Read them out loud because they're nothing but a fear. You know, a fear is an action. You can't be fear. It's an action. So it cannot consume you. You have to overcome it. It's the best teacher and the fastest way to succeed is getting over your fears. Definitely pushing past that and getting over your fears is the best way because it gives you resilience. It gives you more confidence. It gives you power. It gives you more confidence to lead others and duplicate. Pushing past those fears is something that we're all going to have to conquer, and it's going to take time. It's going to take grit, but it's going to happen. Go ahead, Tova.
So good. I freaking love it. I heard this statement and it's so true. You have been 100% successful at solving every single problem you have faced in your life up to today. You have survived all of them. You have solved all of them. Did they all solution out exactly as you thought they would? No, often things end up resolving themselves different than we expected, and they end up being okay almost always. So look back, you have a whole lot of evidence for you to trust yourself, guys. I want you to look at things that were really hard that you've been through before and think back. We have like amnesia with bad circumstances, and it's probably a good thing because otherwise we would just ruminate on it. But reflect a little bit on what were some thoughts that I had in the midst of that crisis or that midst of that problem or challenge where I really never thought this was going to work out, and what's happened since then. You know, 5 years ago, honestly, 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago, if you had told me I would have bet my child's life on like not being where I'm at right now, guys. So to me, what that says is I am so capable of doing new things. I'm so capable of learning new things. So that makes me really excited for the next 4 years. Instead of being afraid of all the unknowns, which I really don't like unknowns, but I've become okay with them because I've started treating unknowns. This was a decision I made recently, like freaking presents under the Christmas tree. I like me some presents under the Christmas tree. I love to have a few boxes. I don't know what's in them because that means they're for me. I'm excited. I'm not nervous or like unsure of what's in those. Guys, you got to look at your future that way. You got to look at your business this way. That next excited customer that you're going to change their life, that next excited business builder that this business is going to change your life, is that present you just haven't unwrapped yet. And guys, we can guarantee they're there. I can't guarantee the month and the holiday you're going to get them, but you're going to get them. And it happens at different rates. Some of us get 3 or 4 at a time and then none for a while. It goes all over the place. But look back, you have everything in you that you need to succeed. It's really true. So look back at some things that you were afraid of in the past and how you've overcome them. And the seatbelt thing is great with Sabrina, guys. We do not pay attention to the trust we put in people. We get on roller coasters. We have no idea what stranger designed those. We put our kids on roller coasters and we're okay with it almost always. Sabrina might be a little anxious standing there watching, but the point is we do that, and that's total strangers that we're just trusting. So here's the deal. If you're going to trust strangers with your kids, you know me, and I hope you trust me if you're on my team. So have some faith. Trust us. Trust Valen, trust Sabrina, trust me, trust Natalie, trust the hundreds and hundreds. I think it's approaching 1,000. It might be over 1,000 diamonds now. So trust them. what's the difference between them and everybody else? Guys, I heard some stats, and I'm going on a rabbit trail, but I'm going to go. I heard some stats about, you know, the whole 9 out of 10 people who try network marketing fail. And there's a lot of literature out there, if those numbers are even right, because they're counting everyone, people who just joined for the discount and didn't want to sell. So first of all, that number is skewed, but let's say it's right. Here's some other business where 9 out of 10 people fail. And by fail, the answer is quit. They don't want to learn enough and they don't want to do it for long enough. That's the answer. You can't show me someone that has something wrong with them that they can't be successful at real estate. 9 out of 10 realtors fail. Okay, is real estate like looked down upon or like shady, or like people are like, oh, you're a realtor? Like, no, it's like a normal profession. People are just more used to it. Insurance agents, 9 out of 10 of them fail. Photographers, 9 out of 10 of them fail. 90% of all startup businesses fail. Guys, where did the amazing successful businesses come? They came because they were excited that they would be in the 10%. And the cool thing is we don't have to go out and invent something and like end up on Shark Tank and work with marketing and work with all this stuff. Like all those things that make people fail and are expensive and are hard have been taken out of the equation for us. So literally, we say it all the time, but it literally comes down to patience and learning. If you're willing to just be patient with yourself in the process and learn, which sounds very easy, and it's not. Like learning this stuff can take time and be challenging, but gosh, the payout is more than worth it. So there was one other thing I want to say, but Sabrina, do you have another point you're going to go over? And then I want to, the third column thing was what I was going to say. So you wrote down the thoughts you're having and the thoughts you wish you could have if you could replace them. In the third column, once you write 1 to 3 sentences about each point, so I'd like you to pick 3 thoughts of the business, 3 pipe dream thoughts you wish you had, and then 3 reasons for each on why there's a gap between them. What is stopping you? What is the obstacle? Imagine it's a road, destination, you're standing at A, you can see B way over there, like way over there. There is something, because if there was nothing in the way, you'd take a little jog down there and you'd be there, and then your mindset would be fixed and you'd be ranking up like crazy. So this is true for me. This is true for all of us, guys. And I don't know is not an answer. I'm not sure. That means reflect more. Go sit down somewhere by yourself, which can be hard to do. That might mean getting up 30-40 minutes before the kids, staying up. I recommend morning over night, guys. Our willpower and IQs go down with the day. Like I think morning's best, but if you're a night owl person, that's better than nothing. So you got to come up with reasons. And I'm scared, or this thing about me. So I want you to bring those reasons to your next coaching call, because those are 3 or 4 layers deep that you've gotten that we don't really have time to always get down to in the coaching calls. So if you can come prepared with, I'm having these thoughts, I wish I had these thoughts, and these are the things that are my best guesses on what my obstacles, what's stopping me. What are you afraid of? If it's fear, or what? Like exactly, get specific. Then we can work through those with you way quicker, or recommend a book, or just start thinking of some ideas, or how could we tweak that thought? Whenever that thought does come into your head, how could we tweak it? And so after Sabrina finishes, I have one more fun thing.
Awesome. That was so good. My gosh. So number 5, and again, this is going to be all out of love, and I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart. You are capable of restarting, and that's not your business. I'm talking about in all aspects of life. You are capable of restarting that mindset. You are capable of restarting those different beliefs. You are capable of so much more than you are allowing yourself or giving yourself grace to do. If you've been knocked down, talk about it. Let that crap go. If you've been excluded, if you've been talked about, if you've been knocked, whatever it looks like, let that crap go. It is weighing you down, and it's clouding your long-term vision. Think of it as a cloud literally hanging over your eyes. Let it go. Reset your mindset, and it will reset your life. So I want you to think about this as well. And it's something exactly what Tova had said, but you can write this down later. Think about a fear that you had, and we are going to draw, and you can even imagine it, draw a line in the sand. It is never happening again. You have to make that definitive decision that you are not going to let those fears creep back in. Make that line, draw that line in the sand, and cut it right then. You have all the power to reprogram your brain. You are not stuck. So I often hear, but I've been like this all my life. Has that worked out for you? Probably not. Be different. It's okay to change. It is okay. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but sometimes getting uncomfortable and changing and just doing something a little bit different than what you've been doing the whole time is what's going to make you stand out. So that is what I have for tonight. And Tova, if you want to go ahead and finish up.
Yeah, guys, trust yourself, give yourself more credit. And often it is a little bit different. What she just said is encouraging to me. It's sometimes we make things bigger than they need to be. We're not saying you need to revamp everything. It's often a slight tweak. And Fallon said it to me the other day, and it was very encouraging. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm closer than I think. And I just have to tweak a few little things, and then everything is going to flow. And so have that hope. I did this exercise at Jewel's school, and you know me, I'm not an emotional person, really. At least I like to say that. Man, this exercise like got me, like almost everybody was in the room crying. I challenge you to do this. If you're serious about your business, by New Year's Eve, I want you to do this. You're going to write a letter and you're going to seal it up and put it away somewhere. And I want you to read it next Christmas. You can read it on like Christmas Day. Okay. So I want you to write a letter to yourself based on, it's going to start from a place of those pipe dream thoughts. So like, best case scenario, I want you to write a letter to yourself next Christmas at the rank you're going to be. Dream big. This is not you logically understanding how you're going to get there. That's not what this is. This is a rank that you feel in your heart. Just think about it, pray about it, what you want it to be. And I want you to write out very casually all the things you wish somebody could say to you right now. Things like, I'm so proud of everything you've overcome. All the difficult things have been worth it. You are so much stronger than you think. You're so much smarter than you think. You have so much value to add. You have changed so many people's lives. Keep going. I'm telling you, you're talking to yourself. You're having a conversation with yourself. So it's almost the letter that, let me rephrase it. This might sound better. If your Christmas rank self, so if you want to be an emerald by Christmas, next Christmas, what letter would she write to you right now? That's what I'm trying to say. So she's already developed those new thought patterns. So that was what I was saying from stepping off point. So who that woman has become and what she has achieved, it's whole, like, if I could write a letter to my 21-year-old self, what is the advice and the encouragement I might give her? And it would be some pronounced stuff, like heavy stuff. So do that for yourself, seal it up. No one needs to read it. You don't need to proofread it. Just write until you don't have anything else to write. It doesn't need to be organized or pretty. Seal it up and put it away. And then I want you to read it next Christmas. And I think you're going to be a lot closer than you ever expected. I think you're going to be really amazed and that putting out there, that woman is believing in you guys. All right. I know my double diamond self is looking at me and being like, come on, you can do it. Like, don't let that bother you. Like, I think about that often. And I think about, how does she show up to work? What kind of things is she afraid of? What kind of things stress her out? So I'm at point A, she's at point B, and we're pretty far away. What's the difference between my fears and her fears, and my actions and her actions? And what's one thing I can do different today? I'm not looking at this huge Mount Everest. She's a present. I'm excited to get to that. It's going to be an interesting, exciting journey. Again, like, geez, the stuff, I was in helicopters for the past few years, and I get to be here, nice, warm, not freezing cold, not out in the elements with you guys. and all volunteer. Like, no one has to be here. And that means so much to me, guys. None of you have to be here. And you choose to be here. You choose to include us in your life. You choose to listen to us and take feedback from us. And I don't take that lightly. And y'all feed me just as much or more than I feed you guys. And so I just love everybody so much. But that's all I have to share. If you're done with content, we can stop recording, and then we can always just open it up for questions. You good with that, Serena? All right.